Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Do not adjust your dial. This show is actually on. I know it's been a couple weeks. It's been longer than that since we had the whole crew on here, but we are live. I'm not going to hold you. I'm your host, Scott Lewis. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms. And at Barber Chair Scott, follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. HB Media, all that good stuff. All the links in the description box. I'm tired of reading these damn long ass intros. So y'all, if y'all watch this, y'all don't watch the show long enough to know what the links are. And if you don't, they are right here in the description box. So click on that, all of that, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to leave a comment, please leave a super chat. If you want your comment to show on the screen, we got bills to pay, people. Okay, it is holiday season. Mogs need gifts. Leave a super chat if you want your comment shown, or you need to ask a question. But anyway, we've got the entire crew here today. We got the one and only JR Bang in the building. You can follow Bang at JR Bang. We got the one and only Dante Miles in the building. You can follow him at October Zonte. And of course, we've got Courtney Bang in the house. You can follow her at 1-800-COLLABRO on all social media platforms. It's been a while since we've done this show. How's everybody feeling?
Being a father.
I see you put in work over there, Bang.
I cannot complain at all, my boy.
It is good to have everybody here. Good to have everybody watching again. I know it's been a while. Shout out to everybody who has watched all of the weekend recaps I've been doing, the smaller videos. If you want to get in tune with that, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Barber Chair Scott per usual. So yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's just get right into it. And we got to start with the beloved Chicago Bears. Big game on deck this weekend on the lakefront. A very cold game. If you are going like Bang here, make sure you warm up, because it's supposed to be the coldest game for the Bears since 2008, I think is going to be. So bundle up for that. By the way, I respect
Bullshit. That's got to be the coldest game since that Scarf. That's got to be the coldest game since that Dallas Cowboys game. That's the coldest game in Soldier Field.
Dallas. Which one was that one?
That was the Monday Night Football game. That's Dicker Day when they the way.
Oh, is that the Dicker Day?
Ass. Yep.
I don't know that game 3 years ago when during the 2022 season. I think when they played Buffalo. I think it was when they played Buffalo. Yeah. Oh, you got everything ready to go. You got everything ready to go. Yeah, I'm in the press box, thank God, but I know it's still gonna be cold and with that window right there. So I'm gonna be dressed up anyway. But Bears Browns, the Browns, man, you want to talk about an injury list. I feel like they're going full tank mode in this one. They are going to be missing 4 of their starting 5 offensive linemen, and the 5th one is listed as questionable. Njoku's gonna be out, Denzel Ward's gonna be out. They've got so many injuries, bro. The Bears, on the other hand, Roma Dunze has practiced the last 2 days. He's been in limited fashion, but he has practiced and is officially listed as questionable. Tyreek Stevenson is off injury designation. He is expected to play on Sunday, which is a big thing as well. I think there's somebody else. Let me see. Travis Homer and Kyler Gordon are out. And I gotta say this about Kyler. Love Kyler, but we can no longer rely on him anymore when they're going forward. Like, he has played 2 games in a calendar year, fresh off getting paid. That just is what it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if they put him on the IR soon. We haven't got any official news on that, but I do believe that's going to be the next thing that's going to come for him, man. We'll start off. To me, this is trap game. This got trap game vibes written all over it, where I hope this is something where the Bears aren't thinking too much about what's going on with the Packers and thinking about that loss that happened last weekend and thinking about getting their lick back, because that game's not going to matter as much if you do not win this Saturday. Browns are coming in playing with house money. They have nothing going on. I think there's only 2 people who actually are playing with something in this game. That's Shedeur Sanders, because he wants to be the starting quarterback next year. And then there's Myles Garrett, who is chasing history, trying to break TJ Watt and Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 sacks, if I am not mistaken. So he's going to be playing that. On the lowest of keys, this is a really good Cleveland Browns defense. They are ranked 3rd in total defense in the NFL, and they are the number 1 passing defense in the NFL. Now, obviously, you've got Denzel Ward is going to be out. That's a big hit. But this when you got Myles Garrett on the side, who's going out there to prove a point, when you saw how much that Max Crosby almost won that game in Vegas by his damn self, that's something you need to pay attention to. So I feel like the Bears should win, and should win easily if they don't play with their food, finish their breakfast, come out strong, and don't have these empty calorie first halves that they like doing so much. I think they'll be fine. But I am slightly concerned. Now, Kevin Byard came out this week, said he doesn't believe in trap games, all the nice locker room shit that we hear. And Ben Johnson also emphasizing, we haven't done anything. We haven't done anything with 9 wins. We can still not make the tournament, which he is 100% correct. There is a road where the Bears can still miss the playoffs. So I do believe the focus is there. I think what we've seen this year, when the Bears, when they lose, started off on a 2-game losing streak, bounced back after that, lost a stupid game in Baltimore, bounced back off after that. So they do have resilience. But I am just a little bit nervous here. Bang, I'm gonna go to you first. Is this a trap game to you?
So I'm gonna go back to the text thread, the text group last week when I had a little bit too much to drink, and I was very upset about the Green Bay Packers defeating.
I thought Bang was gonna swing off me, and I wouldn't even.
I was pissed. Shouts out to Don Fulano. Don't drink that Don Julio. All right, now. What I meant to say, and I was not sober enough to say so, is the next game is a trap game, and you can't miss on these divisional games. You think you have a pickup game in the Cleveland Browns, and it might not be, partly because of a couple of things. One, Myles Garrett is over here trying to break the sack record now. Like, he got 4. He trying to do that now. All right, so he can wreck a game all day long. The other thing is, too, is they have a rookie quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, who it seems like can get hot at any moment's notice. I ain't saying that he's going to do this and be outplaying every number 1 pick, but the last thing you want to do is overlook him in that offense on the road, because you're looking forward to playing Green Bay in the get-back game. With that being said, it's a trap game. This was meant to be a trap game. I think they made the schedule and was like, one of them going to lose their game. And when you look at the schedule, we got the trap game while Green Bay got the Denver Broncos. And you might even be looking at that on the schedule and saying, they're playing Denver. They play us next. So we'll get back even with them because it's the Cleveland Browns. It's easy. You know who else thought that? The Green Bay Packers, because they lost to this team without Shedeur, lost to Joe Flacco in the Cleveland Browns at home. That don't mean I'm picking the Bears, but yes, this is a trap game. and the weather makes it even worse.
Dante, now we do know at the beginning of the season you said the Bears were going to win 6 games. They have well exceeded your expectations. Now obviously expectations change. The expectation this Sunday is to go against this inferior team and show dominance. Are you confident they're going to do that, or you think they're going to be playing with their food and we're going to be in a crazy situation on Sunday?
Oh no, I'm confident, and I think a lot of that confidence stems from the second half last game. They really flipped the switch. That's something I've never seen the Bears do. They dominated that second half on both sides of the ball, and they almost won that game. So, I mean, I think it's one of those situations where they know they need to put on a good showing this Sunday. And I think Ben Johnson has done a great job of, as we said all season, establishing his culture, even though people say those are just buzzwords. This is another example of that. Like you said, they've bounced back from tough losses with good wins and win streaks. So this would be a great time to do that. As they try to close out this season and make the playoffs. And like you said, at this point, I'm playing with house money because I only expected them to win 6 games. So, you know, I'm fine with what happens, but I do love the fact that we're seeing this team fight. Even that, like I said, that second half in Green Bay, that showed me a lot. So I think they're going to come out, and with the amount of injuries that the Browns have, there's no reason for them to lose this game. Establish the run. It's negative 20 degrees. It should be an easy win, but there's no such thing as an easy win in the NFL. But I think this is one of those games where they should play well, and Shedeur should struggle. Montez Sweat should earn his money. Grady Jarrett, we spent a lot of money on that defensive line, and it's still they're just there. We just got some guys. So, I mean, we need to see more of an improvement there. But other than that, I'm very confident in this, and I understand, you know, we talk about a trap game and those things, but I think this is a game that the Bears should win easily.
Courtney, first of all, good to have you back. Haven't had you on the show in a while. Now we know you said it's been hard for you to watch football lately, but what do you know? Like, okay, now as your first year as a Bears fan,
yeah.
What have you seen from watching this team, and are you concerned about this game this coming weekend?
Well, I say you should be concerned simply because, like Bang said, the scheduling, being sandwiched in between those two matchups against the Packers, you know, it kind of sets you up for, okay, we lost this game to Green Bay. You know, we got this game in between, and then we're going to get our get back the next week. I definitely would not be thinking ahead to the next week. Mind you, didn't the Cleveland Browns also beat the Green Bay Packers this season?
They sure did.
Yeah. So, and again, I know they're super injured right now. It's a totally different team that's going to be taking the field this Sunday against the Bears. And again, the weather is something to factor in as well, but it's definitely not something to be taken lightly. Myles Garrett is a dog. And if anything, I'm concerned about Myles Garrett and his ability to get to Caleb Williams. Again, I know he's probably not, I mean, you like to think that somebody's not thinking about sack records and stuff like that, but like also I worry about Myles getting to Caleb and how that'll impact his mental throughout the game and his ability to take care of business throughout the game. That being said, I do think the Bears could win this game and should win this game, considering all the deficiencies that the Bears have on both sides of the ball. But yeah, it's a trap game.
I kind of feel like that video of that dude who was on the news. He said, "Yeah, I'm a little concerned, but I packed that thing too." That's how I kind of feel about this game. Myles Garrett concerns me. That's the number one concern I have, because he's out there like, season's over, bro. He's like, nigga, I didn't mean to sit in where I forgot. Anyway, fine for me. He's out there like, that's a fine for me. Nikhil's not here, so I don't know where the button is right now. We ain't done this in a couple weeks. But he's probably looking at this as, I'm getting my stats. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for heads. I don't care about nothing else. And I think that's going to be, yeah, there we go. That's going to be the issue.
Oh,
but
no, it ain't.
Whoa, that's a fun.
Bang was like, I'm going to find this button. But yes, that would be my concern right there. I mean, Caleb has done an amazing job of ducking sacks. He has been great with it. Even Micah Parsons said last week after the game that he was exhausted chasing Caleb around. So I don't think it's going to be like a 4 or 5 sack type game. I'm not even really worried about sacking him that much. I'm worried about him hurrying Caleb up and speeding his clock up a little bit. We saw how that looked in the first half. of the Packers game last week where the Bears offensive line was really struggling. And it made, Caleb didn't have like completed pass like into the second quarter. So that I'm concerned about a little bit. But as long as Ben Johnson sticks to the running game script, I think they'll be fine. I think if the Bears actually run the football in the first half last week, they win that game. And I think even the Packers said themselves, like, we were tired. And that's exactly what happened. And I got a stat here that actually kind of goes with, we'll talk about the Packers in a minute, but a stat that I didn't know was real till Mikey told us. Mikey is our statistician got it today. He said NFL teams are combined 2-9-1 after playing the Chicago Bears this season. That is a crazy stat. And that would be something I'm looking at with the Packers, just because how much the run game affected the Packers in the second half. So if you're the Bears, you to take Cleveland's soul right away, give the ball to DeAndre Swift, give the ball to Cal Monungai. This is a game when they can flourish and throw when you need to. That's the only thing. But overall, I'm not too concerned about it. I think if they take care of business, and even if they play with their food a little bit, they'll still win. I don't really care about style points. Bang, I know you said you wanted style points. You want to blow out. I don't really care. I just want a dub, and let's move on and make next Sunday against Green Bay more important. But let's talk about Bears playoff odds and scenarios. Like I said, our stats there provided by our brother Mikey. I told him to send me every scenario for the Bears. So there's a lot of stuff I'm going to read, but this is vital stuff that everybody needs to know. So here are the Bears playoff scenarios for this season. So sweeping the final 4 games of the season, which would be against Cleveland at home, Green Bay at home, on the road to San Francisco, and Detroit at home. If the Bears sweep the final 4 games, it guarantees them both the NFC North title and at least the number 2 seed, ensuring that they will host their first home playoff game at Soldier Field since 2018. The Bears currently have a 65% chance of making the playoffs. With the win against Cleveland, those odds will boost up to 72%, but with the loss, their playoff chances take a severe hit, dropping to 47%. The Bears currently have a 24.7% chance to win the NFC North. Packers are currently favorites to win the division at 65%. Now, if the Bears and the Packers finish with the same record, the Packers win the NFC North due to division tiebreakers since they already have 4 division wins, and the max the Bears can finish with is 3. In order for the Bears to win the NFC North, the Bears need to win 1 more game than Green Bay over the last 4-game stretch. The Packers' final 4 games are at Denver, at Bears, at home in Baltimore, and on the road against Minnesota. Now, here are the wild card scenarios. Similar to the NFC West, there is a scenario where 3 NFC North teams make the playoffs, where 1 wins the division, 2 get the last wild card spots, and the other spot goes to the runner-up in the NFC West. Lions would need a win this weekend versus the Rams to have that scenario of all 3 North teams making it, or not to have a scenario to be eligible for a spot to go in the next week. The Lions currently sit at 52% to make the playoffs. A win this weekend will boost them up to 71.4%, mainly because they have a matchup with the Bears still on deck, and they already beat the Bears week 2, and that'll be their head-to-head against us. But a loss against the Rams puts their playoff chances at 36.9. The Lions can lose this week and fall to 8-6. The Bears can win and go to 10-4. But if we lose 2 more games and they beat Pittsburgh and Minnesota, then game 17, week 18, get ready to speak. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night, because that's what it's gonna be. It'll be 10-6 versus 10-6 at Soldier Field, winner take all, and the loser goes home. So those are the stats. Now, I knew that this was going to be a week-to-week thing, but when I actually read it, I was like, oh, there's a lot of pressure here. Now, Bang, I want to go to you first. I'm interested in your opinion on this, because we all know that opinions change, and I know you're like, oh, no, they got to get it done. How do you feel about these playoff scenarios, and how confident are you at the bare minimum the Bears at least clinch a playoff spot?
Ain't going to the playoffs. Like, not hedging, what I'm going to talk about as far as my prediction, but I see them winning at least 2 games here. In fact, I see them winning the next two. And they better win that second one based off of how you was talking to me, basically. And that text thread. You talk about text thread. Y'all said text thread. That man told me, and what you said at the end of it, I understand you mad.
I said, I understand you mad. Now, granted, that was after I stood in silence for 15 minutes in the press box, by the way.
But
Because the walk to the interview room, I missed all of Ben Johnson's press conference. The walk to the interview room, you walk through the same hallway as the fans. And if I would have heard Bears still suck, I'd have been spending the night in Green Bay jail. So I stayed in the press box to decompress. And then, you know how you do that thing when you're over it, you tell everybody else get over it? That's what I was doing with Bang.
Yeah, my man said, I understand you're still mad. And I was like, I looked at it, touched like, man, what? But no, I see the Bears winning at least the next two games. I do see Green Bay losing in Denver. I do believe to me, the Lions is the team you got to worry about, because Green Bay will mess up. Like, they will mess up. The Lions, you will think they on their last legs. Next thing you know, they win 4 straight. But I do feel confident that the Bears will be in the playoffs. I do feel confident that they will be an 11-win team. And it's partly because some of the adversity. But actually, the reason why I think style points is needed for this next game is because I think at some point, as a playoff team, a potential playoff team, you have to not only win the game that you're supposed to win, but make a statement when you do that too. Because when you got those 3 games after that, you really have to show that you're comfortable in not only winning on the road, winning at home, you have to show that you're confident in doing that, and you have to have some type of style points in doing that. So that is actually the reason why, because these next 3 games after that, it's a crapshoot not only for you in the North, but it's a crapshoot for you as a wild card. You have Dallas, who's not gone anywhere. They're still around. You have a win over them too. And I forgot who else. Don't even worry about it. But you also got the Rams. You got the 49ers, who's been the playoff push right now. You have Carolina. You see what's going on the South. You have to look at these other divisions. And teams, but I do.
What a good thing about the NFC South is the loser of that division is not getting a wild card.
Right.
So I'm looking at there's a lot of NFC. Yeah, there's a lot of NFC West hate watches that will be going on this week.
Oh, it's definitely because they could definitely have 3 people go in.
Yes. To me, this is a race of which division is going to have 3 wins. I look at it as one thing that stands out to me about Detroit right now. Detroit can still come back, but Detroit got a gauntlet, bro. We got a gauntlet, but they got a gauntlet too. You got the Rams right now, and this is how close the NFC is. With if the Rams lose on Sunday, the Rams drop from the number 1 seed to the 5th seed. Like, that's a tremendous drop. And you know, Matthew Stafford would love nothing more. And it's basically in the season of his old team. A team that has ended his season 2 years ago in the playoffs. Remember the big old Matthew Stafford returning to Ford Field and sent him home. He would love that. But Dan Campbell and those boys are literally fighting for their life. And, you know, they've had some problems. The defense has not been good. I mean, Dallas almost came back on them last week. They're not going to have Branch this week. He's out, which is going to be a big problem for them. And Dallas let them get away. Dallas let them get away with the stuff that they were getting away with last week. That's not going to fly against the Rams. So I'm more confident that the Rams can go over there and take care of business. But more than anything, the Bears just have to finish their food. Take care of Cleveland, and let's do hate watches, because both of those games are on after the Bears come on.
But real quick, as the person who's the number 1 fan of the Detroit Lions hate club here, they got the Steelers at home. They got the Vikings on the road. So they got 9 or whoever else is going to play quarterback for that team. And then they play us. So I feel you on this Lions game, on the Rams game, and I actually am picking the Lions to win that game. It's about time for the Rams to have another stinker. But they could very well go 3-0 after that. I
Oh
don't
no,
think
100%.
I think Green Bay gonna lose their next 2 games.
That's potential for that too. But Green Bay already has a game up on them, and that tie is damn near a win where they counted. And Green Bay has swept Detroit also, so that's gonna come into play. And the thing to me why Detroit is still little, they got this, but Aaron Rodgers beats Detroit all the time. And I really feel like the Steelers are trying to come into a groove right now. And let's not forget,
They just tried to kill TJ Watt.
yeah. And let's not forget, the Lions already lost to Minnesota this year at home, so they can still lose. But that's why it's a little bit up for grabs. Courtney, I'm gonna go to you next. What's your confidence level and just your overall thoughts on this NFC playoff race right now?
I mean, just in terms of like the Bears or the whole pick, the NFC as a whole.
Well, starting with the Bears and then just what the final playoff spot races.
I feel pretty good about the Bears making the playoffs, and maybe that's because I haven't been hurt like y'all have in years past. But considering the path that some of these other teams have, especially within their respective division, like I don't feel good about the Lions right now. I think the Lions are going to get waxed. Like I'm saying, you think they're due? I don't know, man. I think the Rams are a scary looking team right now in like every aspect, and like you mentioned, Scott. Just with the injuries that they have, Brian Branch, they're on what, like their 3rd or 4th string safeties right now. Like it's not, it's not a good look for the Lions right now. So yeah, even just within the respective division, I'm not too sold on anybody. I think again, I have not been burned by the Chicago Bears yet. But I feel pretty good about them making the playoffs. That being said, I don't know if anybody's beating the Rams right now. I don't know if anybody's beating the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are a scary team right now because they can run the football. They're throwing. I think that Matthew Stafford is the MVP. I never thought I'd utter those words in my entire life, but here they are. And they're wide receivers, bro. Like you got Puka Nacua on one side, you got Devontae Adams looking like he back in Green Bay. That's gonna be very hard for you to guard with the already mediocre secondary, and now that secondary is beat up. If the Rams can slow down Jamar Gibbs, this can get nasty. It can get nasty.
That's part of the reason why I'm gonna pick the Lions because the Rams defense is, I believe, it's like 12th in rushing. They're giving up over 100 rushing yards a game. If it's a place that you could get them, it's with that run game. And Sonic and Knuckles is not the run game that you want to have issues with at all.
Yeah, I'm more worried about that Denver Packer game worries me. And this is why I'm worried. I think this just smells like a dumb game. And we already know, as good as Denver is the AFC version. Everybody keeps saying the Bears can't get away with it. No, Broncos can't keep getting away with this. They have been getting away with it week after week after week. And I'm scared that Bomani Knicks will out-bozo Jordan Love. That's what I'm worried about. And I believe that this can be team.
Welcome to the winning team.
This is going to be a close game where I can see both of these bozos having like 2 picks. But I have more faith in Jordan Love making the big-time play more than I do Knicks. That's what concerns me. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to that. But, Dante, what's your thoughts on this race for the Bears, your confidence in the Bears, and just overall vibe on the NFC chase right now?
Yeah, I think the Bears, you play on my house money at this point. Year 1 of Ben Johnson. I know we talked about, high expectations, but I don't think playoffs were the expectations. A lot of us at the beginning of the year were saying that they were an 8 or 9 win team, and it was, hey, this is a win. So at this point, I think you playing with house money. But as far as the Bears go, I like their chances a lot. I do think they take care of business this Sunday. I think they beat Green Bay next week. I think they beat Detroit the final game of the season. And there is a space where they can win and this is not me being a fan. This is just me watching the way they've played and the way they've gotten better as the season progresses. you could lose one of these games the rest of the way. So I think the Bears have a legit shot at the NFC as a whole. I still believe that's in play. But I like the playoff shots. I like the playoff chances a lot. The Rams, like you said, when you have Matt Stafford throwing the ball the way that he is, that's going to be a tough team to beat. So that's one of those teams that you gotta, hope they falter in one of these weeks down the road, and you can get get them as, I would say, a 2 seed. So if you do end up running into them in the NFC Championship, they have to come on the road. You don't have to go to SoFi and play on their home turf. But I think it's gonna be a good race. It's just gonna be exciting. I think like we all know, NFC South is gonna have one person in the playoffs. So it's really gonna be between the NFC West and the NFC Central. I'm sorry, NFC Central.
Boy, you went throwback with that one. NFC Central.
Been thinking about baseball, but NFC North, and I think it's gonna be an exciting race, bro. But I like the Bears shot a lot. I like their chances a lot. So for me, like I said, to go from predicting 6 wins to them like actually fighting for the playoffs, I'll take it.
This is the first time in the history of this program where the Bears are actually playing good December football. And I have to say this real quick, Courtney, if I go back to you. I have no concerns about going to SoFi Stadium. Let's be very clear. That's going to be Soldier Field West. Okay? That is going to be Soldier Field West. That is going to look like a home game. So I'm fine with that. But go ahead, Courtney.
Yeah, I was going to ask y'all because I meant to ask you earlier, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask you when we're on the show. How do you guys feel at the prospect of the Bears selling playoff tickets? Is that as I'm new to the fold, okay? But this is y'all's team. How does
I ain't
that
buying
go?
them, so.
Well, my media head is like, oh, well, that's business. You have to get it out right now ahead of time. Mm-hmm. My PTSD is like, not yet. We ain't clinched nothing. So that's the battle I got going on. I got logical businessman and petrified sports fan on this side, going side to side right now. I saw that email come to my phone. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that's what prompted it because I'm a part of the marketing threads now, so I get all the emails.
Yeah, I got soon as that email came to my phone. I was like, okay, I guess. But let's go. You know what? I'm like Dante just said. This is house money season. I don't think if they miss the playoffs, well, I'll be disappointed 100%. But I'm not going to be mad, upset. I know Bang want to fight everybody if we miss the playoffs, but I will be. I'll be hurt, but like one of them, I'll be upset for like an hour. By the time I leave the stadium, I'll be fine. Next year is when I'll be stressed out because then it's like, okay, can we go from good season to a consistent playoff threat every year, which in my lifetime, and the Bears have never been. I know we had that back-to-back year in 2005, made it to the divisional round, and the Peanut Tillman game happened when Steve Smith made him look like he played in high school, and then the next year we went to the Super Bowl. And then when the Jay Cutler years, we could have done that, but we kept getting robbed by injuries and stuff like that. So that's when I'll be worried next year. There's not that much they can do to really make me mad this year. But going into these remaining games, man, I want to take these remaining 4 games right here. We're gonna put our nuts on the table and make our predictions of this. We ain't gotta go game by game or what score, whatever. I will just say my score for this Sunday. I got Bears winning 24-10. 24-10. I think it's gonna be a big, heavy run game. That's style
points. That's style
points. When I think style points, I'm thinking like 3 touchdowns or more. That's what I be thinking about when I think style.
Shit, that's a style point for us right now, 2014.
Okay, all right. Well, then I guess it'll be a style point game then. 24-10. I think that I like Shador. Shador is our internet nephew. I really, really enjoy watching him. But we gotta, you know that video like fight back. That's what we gotta do to him this week. Like if I don't see Montez Sweat breaking through this backup offensive line multiple times, take away his paycheck. Like this should be a stat padding game for you. So I think there's going to be a heavy Calvin Nunn guy, heavy DeAndre Swift. I think that we'll get 2 rushing touchdowns, and I do believe that Caleb will throw for 1. Would not surprise me if that's a pick 6. Government mandated Nashawn Wright pick. That could happen. Maybe Jalen gets into the action. Tyreek is back this week, maybe. But I think a nice 24-10 win is how I got this one going. We're just going to go scores for the Browns, and then we'll talk about the rest of the schedule. Bang, what will be your score for this week?
I had the game 27-10 Bears. I do believe that this is going to be, as I said in the text, I think it's going to be Bears 27-10. You're going to have F Green Bay chance in the third and the fourth quarter. It's going to people are going to be cheering because it's snowing. If it's flurries, if it have a flurry or two, it's going to look good for NFL.
Oh, and on Sunday too?
I said if.
Oh, I'm about
I think it's gonna be too cold. They said -2. I
Like,
think it's gonna be too cold.
Yeah, but I think it's because
I've shoveled 5 times in the last 4 weeks. Enough.
Yeah, so depending on how the weather is, if it's cold enough to snow, you got that NFL films look. If it's just cold as hell, you're gonna have that good NFL films look because you're gonna see the air. You're gonna see the air out of people's breath, like the breath in the air and all that stuff, and Caleb slowly going up behind the center, and Kyle Monange Kyle Monange, juking somebody, and then you got DeAndre Swift, who I feel like is gonna have a 2-touchdown game on Sunday. Yeah, this is gonna be that, and it's gonna be the Bears prepare for Green Bay to come to Soldier Field.
Basically, it's gonna sound
Saturday
real
night.
good when they play when the mic'd up video goes live on Wednesday and you hear Jeff Joniak in the background. Mighty Monangai.
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna be that game, and I'm telling you, by halfway to the third quarter, we're gonna have F Green Bay chance.
I would just like the record to reflect that I quite literally named my fantasy team this year. Now there's a Monangai. Okay, I was
you were ahead of the curve
from the ground floor. Okay,
yeah.
I was in there.
Shout out to Kyle Monangai. He my height. Shout out to all the short kings out there. Okay. Dante, what's your score for Sunday?
I'm going 24-7 Bears, and it might be 24-3. I think the Browns really struggle. And I don't want that for Shedeur, but I think this is one of those weekends where it's like, yeah, we need this. So like, hey,
you gotta have a welcome to the NFL moment, rookie. We gotta have one.
And I mean, and everybody talks about how he can throw the ball and this, that, and the third, but like, he doesn't have the rocket arm, and we talking about 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So I could see him giving us the ball a couple times, but I think the Bears are gonna run that ball, and Caleb can throw it in any weather. So I think it's gonna be 24-7, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 24-3. And like you said, it was just a dominant win, and they set the tone for next week.
Courtney, what is your score?
I was actually, thank you for bringing that up, Dante, because I was going to ask what that wind situation was looking like. I know it's going to be cold, but I didn't know what the wind situation was looking like, and that was kind of impacting my score totals. That being said,
I am dreading my post-game video on Sunday already. I am dreading it.
Make sure you wear gloves.
I will be. I will be wearing gloves.
But yeah, I'm thinking, gosh, I want to say, I don't want to just like steal your flow, Scott, but I'm somewhere in that 24-10, 24-7, or 24-6 Bears. Again, the wind is what's throwing me off the totals because I can see a scenario with a couple field goals possibly being missed, just because of the wind. But yeah, give me the Bears. I think this is it's a trap game, but I think the Bears win handedly.
Bang, you brought up a good point too about the Green Bay sucks chants are going to begin in the third quarter if they take care of their actual business. I don't know if the Blackhawks have a game on Sunday, but if they do, the chants will start at the United Center. Okay, this is going to be one of those games where the fans are leaving the stadium chanting it. And I will say this. I'm going to look at the camera when I say this, okay? I'm going to zoom in on me real quick. I've had inbred Packer fans in my TikTok comments for the last 4 days, ever since I put up that reel about Micah Parsons being a fake demon, okay? I said as soon as the game was over, we're going to win next time. I've been playing the Rasheed Wallace quote from 2004 when they lost to the Pacers in game 1. We will game 2. Y'all better not have me looking like a fool. I do not want to post a video of Pedro Martinez saying, I'm just going to shut up and call the Yankees my daddy. I don't want to tweet that on next Sunday. I mean, it's a Saturday. So don't ruin my weekend on a Saturday. Okay? So take care of business next week. All right? I beg of you. That's all I'm asking, because I got a whole bunch of bookmarks waiting for me to circle back with the Slender Bus, and I want to use them next week. So having said all of that, I do believe the Bears win next week. I do believe the Bears win. In fact, looking at the Final Four, bold prediction time. Very well, this could come back to bite me, but screw it. The Bears are going to win the next 3. The Lions are going to drop 2 of the next 3. And that game against Detroit is not going to mean anything. That is my bold prediction. I believe they win this Sunday. I believe they win against Green Bay. That's going to give the momentum going to San Francisco, a place we don't really win a lot. But if there's any beatable version of the Kyle Shanahan 49ers, it is this version. And I believe they win that one. In Detroit, whatever happens, and that happens, I don't think that's going to be a game that the Bears are going to need per se. So I think the Bears do that and make this. If you want to make this an actual rivalry, right, you have to win this next week. You have to win, because then you put yourself in a situation where you got to go against 2 perennial playoff teams, one at home, one on the road, and you got to really win both, honestly, to make the playoffs. So this is a huge game. So I'm gonna put my faith in the Bears. I'm gonna say they finish 4-0. I'm gonna say they finish the season on a 4-game win streak. I'm just gonna say it right now. Bang, how do you see the rest of this schedule playing out?
3 out of their next 4. I see them defeating the Cleveland Browns, the Green Bay Packers. I'm backing off, and I know me and Mikey was the big homies of the we finally gonna win in Santa Clara theme club, but nah, I think they lose that game. And I still believe that the NFC North will be settled by Detroit versus Chicago, and Chicago will win.
All right, Dante, Final Four prediction.
Final Four, I say 3-1. I think there's one that they'll take an L somewhere. I think it'll probably, maybe be that San Francisco game just because you said traveling west. But that would be a testament to the whole new culture if they actually go out there and get a dub. That would be one of those things where it's like, all right, yeah, we're really doing things different. So I'm going to, I think they go 3-1 in those last 4. But I do think, like I said, they're going to win tomorrow. They're going to win not tomorrow, Sunday.
Same exact thinking, Dante. That's exactly where my head was. The one that really makes me nervous is that San Francisco game. Just because of the nature of the game, you happen to go travel out to San Francisco. That's the one that gives me pause. But other than that, I could totally see a scenario where the Bears finish out 3-1.
Yeah, I would say that because we just never win there. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Candlestick. It don't matter if it's Levi. I didn't know we won there in 2018, but that was also a terrible Niner team.
Yeah,
I think they were like on their 3rd string quarterback, and the Bears had already clinched at the time. So I don't even think Mitch played that game. I think that was Chase and Daniel in that one. So, but that is all we have for our Bears coverage today. Let's move on to non-Bears things. We got to start one of the stories of the week, man. Sherrone Moore, former head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, who lost to Ohio State a couple weeks ago. He got fired abruptly a couple days ago. Then more news started shaking out that this man got arrested because of inappropriate relations with another woman who happens to work at the University of Michigan. Now, a couple things have happened since then. Now, today, Sherrone Moore was officially charged with 3 crimes, including home invasion and stalking. Okay. Now this is what we got. I got these tweets from a couple beat writers of one's a Michigan beat writer. Well, he's not Michigan beat writer. He's college football. Chris Vahini and Nicole Arbach. So I'm gonna start with Nicole first. She says that the prosecutor says that Sherrone Moore and the woman had an intimate relationship for a number of years. I quote, "Our victim broke up with the defendant on Monday morning. She presented herself to the school and corroborated the fact that they had a relationship. She says that Sherrone Moore went to the woman's house, grabbed butter knives and kitchen scissors, and threatened to kill himself. Threatened her that my blood is on your hands." Now, Chris Vahini says Sherrone Moore's attorney says Moore was taken to a mental health facility for evaluation, not turned over for commitment, and instead turned back over to law enforcement for lodging. As part of Moore's $25,000 bond, He cannot leave the state without court permission and will have a GPS tether. No contact with victim whose name will not be public record. Must continue mental health treatment. Now that is a hell of a 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. That is a hell of a 2 weeks for this guy. Now here's my theory. Theory time on here. This is my theory. This was known for a while by a lot of people in the Michigan circles. I believe that, and the reason I say that is because it happened so abrupt. And now old tweets are starting to being brought up. My favorite thing to say about Twitter is there's always a tweet. And we're starting to see tweets from people in the know in Michigan, whether they're students, people involved with the football program, alluding to the fact that Sherrone Moore was messing around on his wife and kids. Now, I do think it's very funny that he cheated on a white woman with another white woman, but that's neither here nor there. I think that, to me, if they don't lose to Ohio State, I don't think this ever comes out. I really don't. I think they find a way to cover this. I think at the root of this is that they lost to Ohio State. And he was going to get taken down for whatever things that Jim Harbaugh left the university for anyway. He was going to be the fall guy regardless. But when they saw him lose to Ohio State in the fashion that he lost to Ohio State, they was like, okay, execute Order 66. And they decided to drop everything. Because if you look at some of these tweets, people was tweeting about this 2 years ago. And I don't think it's a coincidence that not only did the woman break up with him, she also went and told the school. So something triggered her to do that. Now, I think it's very shame. First of all, trying to kill yourself with a butter knife. I mean, hey, man, mental health matters over here. We know mental health matters. A butter knife? And this is also how I know she was white. Because if she wasn't, she'd have told him, do it. If there was another race of woman, she'd have told him, do it. So that sticks out to me as well. But I just think this will happen when you get people who are already goofies or lames and they get a little bit of power and they don't know what to do with it. That's what I get from this situation here. Who wants to take the floor next?
I'll get it out the way because I'll get it out the way because I'm the Michigan fan here. I too believe, and let me just say this is unfortunate, but I do believe also that if he didn't lose to Ohio State, we wouldn't be having this conversation because sports is sleazy, colleges are sleazy, and people are sleazy. If what was reported was true, that he ordered a Plan B to the crib and a DoorDasher also got involved in this, do you think that DoorDasher would have did that shit if they would have beat Ohio State 14-13? With that being said, this whole thing is nasty. Very nasty. Because you can't, it's certain things that you just can't tell me is why it's nasty. You can't tell me that the school didn't know about it. You can't tell me that the AD wasn't aware. You can't tell me that the school president wasn't aware. We've seen so many college football coaches get involved with assistants and some shit happen. Go look at Mel Tucker. Go look at Bobby Petrino. And I had to explain my cousin the Bobby Petrino shit and why it was so wild. To me, it wasn't wild that he got caught, that he did the press conference, that he got fired. It became wild, right, the neck brace and all that. It became wild when he became the school's offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And their coach gets fired. And he's the interim coach. That's why you can't tell shit like that. Is why you can't tell me that Michigan wasn't aware.
I mean, Bang, Hugh Freeze was calling prostitutes from his office phone. Like,
right. Like, you can't tell me he was a freak man. And there probably was some mental health issues, because to me, yeah, there's definitely some mental health issues when it comes to some of the things that he was doing. And not only that, as soon as you lose your job, you go over there, look what you done to me. Ah, like, and then get arrested. And you saw, I don't know if you guys, and I probably shouldn't have did that, but shit. the last thing that I will say is it is very embarrassing, but I am not going to be one of those people that say this make black coaches look bad. No, this make him look bad, because the fact of the matter is you had one of the elite jobs given to you, passed down to you by Jim Harbaugh, and the fact that the school probably knew about a lot of this shit and just swept it under the rug, make it even worse. What people got to do is stop letting their dick influence their decisions. As
Yes.
simple as that. That man let his pain influence a decision that is going to wreck 2 families. It's going to wreck a lot of these students on this school, at this school playing, and it's going to wreck him, because he could have just kept quiet and became assistant running back coach in the NFL. But no, he decided to crash out. And because he crashed out, now he's done. He will not get another job. You won't see that man at no doggone JUCO. You won't see him at an NAIA. You won't see him on a podcast with Jason Brown. He's done. And he's
He ain't gonna be coaching in Dunbar. He ain't gonna be coaching no high schools, nothing. He ain't even gonna be a gym teacher, bro.
He's not even gonna be a gym teacher. That's just a wrap.
Yeah, it's
he crashed out.
I just say this real quick, Courtney. I just want to say this real quick with and I just don't understand. Like, obviously, this is a much bigger scale. I don't understand people sleep people at work. Like, I get it. You're around these people all day, but it's the dumbest thing on planet Earth. It's just dumb.
And
when
anything,
something like this is dumb,
up. You don't go down.
Yeah,
you go up. You sleep up.
Courtney, what's you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so again, I don't want to discount the idea, right, that they're saying he was evaluated and, they said, yeah, essentially you're good. Like, you don't need to be taken in for, a psychiatric hold or anything. And you're talking about with a butter knife. I mean, is that like all you had access to, or is this like a classic case of a narcissistic man, just having to deal with the consequences of his own actions? Like, you made the conscious decisions to sleep with and allegedly impregnate one of your staff members. And now, those pesky consequences, like the crash out is valid. You just destroyed not only your life, but like you've got a wife and 3 kids. Like, it's a very valid crash out. That being said, Bang, I think, Bang, you brought it up, where you brought up Jim Harbaugh, and it kind of just made me think about, yes, obviously college football coaches are held to this incredibly high standard, right? But that's always been the sort of thing with Michigan in particular, right? The Michigan man is a very common, I don't want to say trope, but it is a trope to a degree, right? Like the kind of people that I think we maybe need to revisit that as a whole. Think about like the past 5 to 10 years of Michigan football. I mean, Jim Harbaugh can't even come back and coach. Beyond, the Connor Stallions cheating situation, and now this with Coach Moore. I mean, we really need to have a dialogue about what it means to be a Michigan man. Because respectfully, I feel like that is the Michigan man. Am I tripping?
No, you're not tripping. I'm just laughing at this comment right here. He said only he had access to butter knives in the kitchen. Her ass can't cook. That was a good comment. No, but Courtney, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. And nobody is enjoying this more than my brother right now. If you want to see what his Twitter name is right now, it says Sherrone Moore's op. He tweeted out that video.
I'm not happy about it. I think it's an objectively terrible situation. You're messing up the life. You're not only your family, but like all your recruits, all the kids that played for you, that signed on to play for you. Like, your poor decision making has completely derailed countless lives, and the impact is going to be felt around that community, like you said, around the school. Like, it's going to be felt. But that being said,
oh, okay, that was Damien. That was Damien who commented. Damien, you must have changed your YouTube name. That sounds like a David comment. But yeah.
It's really what really makes me sad is the fact that, and it shouldn't, because again, you brought up Bobby Petrino. We talked about Hugh Freeze and what he did being a freaky frog down at Ole Miss and still somehow failed upward into a job at Auburn. And
right,
black coaches unfortunately are going to be held accountable because of something they didn't even do. Is it going to give other black coaches trying to make their way upward into new positions? Is that going to give other ADs pause, like in trying to find
black coaches can't be
hire a black coach now.
Right.
No,
black coaches can't be mediocre and get jobs like Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is I don't think it's gonna affect that. I mean, to your point, if they're always looking for the Michigan man, who gonna be that anyway? Like who that gonna be? Tim Biakapatuka? Like who gonna
Caitlin DeBoer, you are a Michigan Wolverine.
Like what I'm saying is, however, to that point is he could have failed up. Like he legit could have failed up.
Like
if
Courtney
he
said,
wouldn't have crashed out. Yeah, he could have been one of those people that failed up. You didn't fail, you failed up because he crashed out. And that's literally what, when I look at this outside of just the disappointment of all of this happening, that shows me mentally he has a lot going on. And far be it the question, why is that going
but also,
on? Did the
crashing
school
out
see
at
that?
the side, crashing out the side chick house is crazy to me. Like that sounds like something you do to your wife when she's about to leave you. Like crashing out the side chick house is nuts.
Like it's just, and this is not copping for him. It's did you really look at mentally what this guy had going on? Because if you hear the stories of him stalking the young lady and all of that, and it wasn't like this just happened, there's been people who have been saying this and all of that. You didn't give a shit in the first place if all of these things that we hearing are true. You didn't care about the staffer. You ain't care about him. You ain't care about nothing but let's get these wins or at least go beat Ohio State. That's just, again, if all of the things that's coming out is true, that he came to them, said he had some mental health issues. They was like, fam, you good. Don't even worry about it. But you're hearing about all these stories about stalking and aggressiveness and all of this stuff. Like, it feels like a lot of stuff that you got swept under the rug until you couldn't do it. And maybe the DoorDasher who was like, yo, he got a plan B coming to the crib. What we doing? Maybe that was the catalyst. I just don't think people really cared enough until the egg got on their face.
And until they lost to Ohio State, which was the big egg right there. But yeah, my brother tweeted the Bang, who's the dude who said he can't wait to piss on Vince Russo's grave?
Jim Cornette.
Yeah, Jim. My brother tweeted out the Jim Cornette video as soon as that news dropped.
Oh yeah.
So you want to know? He's having a field day with this, but we got to move on, man. I want to move on to another topic that's been going on in the sports world this week. So on Le Batard, it's been like a running thing on Le Batard these last, I'll probably say like the last couple months. It was like a quote unquote beef between Nick Wright and Pablo Torre. Now we all know Pablo Torre has a great podcast. Pablo Torre Finds Out. He's really just bringing back investigative journalism and, being some stuff that we haven't seen in a while, even to the point where people will call him pocket watching and the hater and stuff like that, which is crazy to me. Now, I just want to say just up front, I don't care about this Kawhi Leonard story and have never cared about this Kawhi Leonard story for a couple of reasons. One, it's the Los Angeles Clippers. Los Angeles is not, unless you got dirt on LeBron, nobody cares. And number two, there's so much dirt that goes on in professional sports with payments and stuff. This is the least shocking thing to me. Like, even what did Coach O say about the NIL? He said, first we was going through the front door. First we go through the back door of the money. Now we just going through the front door. There's nothing in all this stuff that shocks me. But Nick Wright basically, so Dan Le Batard had a fake studio ban for Nick Wright, and he finally lifted it. So Nick Wright came to the studio this week on Le Batard, and him and Pablo Torre had a nice little 30-minute back and forth, basically with Nick Wright saying, I can do what you do. I just don't choose to do it. And Pablo was disagreeing, of course. Now, what I wanted to talk to this esteemed panel about is actually a conversation that me, Bang, and Dante have a lot off air about the journalism, media personality, content creator thing. I personally feel, and I'm going to be very clear on this before any of my journalist friends text me when they see this. I believe there is room for both parties. I think both are necessary. In today's world of misinformation, I'll dare to say that we probably need journalism. We need journalism. Do we need media personalities and hot take artists? No. But it's entertaining. And at the end of the day, sports is also an entertaining business. But what I don't mess with is I feel like a lot of journalists carry themselves with the arrogance and a lot of the real hip hop type dudes. Like you, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, somebody who, I can make albums and I care about bars compared to somebody like who just might be, or what they say, drill or trap music. Like let's just say like a Nas compared to like a Future or something like that. They
Nas
come
DJ
off real hip hop.
Nas DJ Premier dropped today. Them
well, I heard DJ Premier is out there like Pat Ewing on Hakeem Olajuwon on the Raptors. That's what I heard, but I wouldn't listen to that anyway. But I digress. It's kind of like that conversation when Nas was talking about hip hop was dead in 2006 when snap music was killing everything. So I personally don't like the arrogance that comes with it, and I also don't feel like and this might be controversial. I feel like. I know me personally, if I wanted to be a journalist, I believe I could. If I actually wanted to do research and, find out, break up stories, I feel like I personally could. I feel a lot of journalists sometimes don't have the charisma to do the in front of the microphone thing. And I think that's a fair thing to say. And I think there needs to be a common ground where we both understand that we kind of need each other right now. But I do feel from most that journalists kind of look down at what I guess content creators and media personalities. I've even seen tweets sometimes how are they getting credentialed. And then somebody like mine who gets credentialed, I take offense to that because I just don't get in front of a microphone and just start talking. Now, there are a lot of people who do that. I do believe we live in a podcast world and there's way too many podcasts. But I also feel like you need to adjust with the times too. So I feel like this was an interesting conversation. And when Nick Wright brought up a story that he actually did break, to see Pablo kind of backtrack on that. I think whatever you feel about Nick Wright, honestly, I'm not really a fan of Nick Wright either. But I do believe that Pablo can't do what he can. That's just my personal opinion on that. Now I want to go to Dante first, because Dante, you went in the last segment. What's your thought? I don't know if you saw the segment, and if you didn't, just what's your overall thought on a journalism versus media personality content creation thing?
Yeah, I saw it, and I get where it comes from. I didn't go to J school, but I went to school and I studied journalism. So it's more so of the fact that you have people in the space who don't follow certain journalistic standards. Like, you could be a content creator, but there's still certain things you shouldn't do. Certain things are unnecessary, certain things are uncalled for. And like you said, those are a lot of the people why it's tougher for us to get and keep our credentials, because they look at them and they say, see, this is why we only want people who've gone to journalism school, done the required research to do this. Because we talk about it in a negative way, but the reality is in a lot of spaces you need gatekeepers, and certain spaces have gatekeepers that are built in. And with journalism, if you didn't go to like the Big Five, which would I would say, Syracuse, Columbia, Northwestern, there's a couple of other ones, but if you didn't go to those schools, most definitely Mizzou. If you didn't go to one of those, it's gonna be a little tougher for you. Like those people, a lot of the people I know who are at the top of the top in this industry, those are the schools they went to. So it's one of those things where they have these gatekeepers in place, so they're always gonna feel a certain way when people who come and grind like we did. Like I said, I didn't go to J school, and I started podcasting in my living room. And so to go from that to being in the stadiums, in the clubhouses, doing all of that, it takes some. But also, I believe that we take this serious. Like, it's a certain level of seriousness and professionalism that you do have to have, even if you don't always dress the part. I know that for some people, that's the big thing. Because like me, I'm not gonna wear the Hawaiian shirts and no. That's
I'm
just
not
not
gonna be
me.
wearing. I'm
Not
not
what I
gonna be
do.
wearing the Bunk Moreland suits.
Yeah,
I'm not.
like,
I'm not doing none of that. I pull up with a flannel, a fitted hat. I come up with a hoodie, bro. I
yeah.
come to Hallis Hall in sweatpants, bro. I'm not like I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm like I'm be here for 2 hours tops. Like
Yeah.
I got to drive an hour and a half. So, and I do think that's part of it. And this is also not to cut you off, Dante, but I think what you're saying about the school stuff, and I noticed this a lot in both my time covering the Clippers and my current time covering the Bears. I think the dressing throws them off about how we dress, how we carry ourselves. And I also think that a lot of them are upset that they went to school, did all this stuff. I didn't. I went to a performing arts school. Okay. Anybody know anything about Columbia College Chicago? That's basically Def Jam University. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I went to school. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the same room as you in quicker time. So I think there's a little bit of that. I think more than anything, there just needs to be a mutual respect. I think there's too much bickering
But
instead of seeing the side that both bring to the table, in my opinion.
but see, here's first of all, Dante is spot on. I when I was in college, I was, journalism was my major, and unfortunately, my little brother had a huge accident, so I had to drop out and everything. But I always wish that I probably would have went back and finished what I'm started. And now, in the position that I sit in, um, sometimes shocked that I'm in this role, but sometimes I'm not, because I always kept those standards at the very least. I might not have went to J school. I might not have finished, but I keep those same standards. You're also talking to somebody who's been podcasting since 2012. Like, I've been podcasting before we was using that term. Um, Hell, one of the things I was telling my homie Cam from the port is I didn't realize I was trying to start a podcast at work in 2009. Not realizing like that's what I was trying to do. I consider myself forward thinking, innovative on a lot of my ideas. So when we're talking about podcasting, this is not a podcast conversation. I think what has happened more than anything outside of podcasting is that people are getting the show host, the journalist, and the analyst mixed up. Um, I'll use some stuff that I'll see on the internet all the time, and considering what aired on Wednesday, I think it's perfect. Oh man, Stephen A. Well, Stuart Scott died, so people like Stephen A. could take over and stuff like that, and people will talk like push up Scott the shit on Stephen A. Smith. There's a difference between the two. Even though he did some of the work, Stuart Scott was the host.
Right.
He was the host. He was the
Stephen A is
point
a
guard.
journalist.
Stephen A. started as a journalist, ended
Yeah.
up as a TV analyst. People used to look at the host as the most popular person. People used to look at James Brown or Kurt Menefee or Jim Nance or Bob Costas or all of those people as the lead. People would look at Peter Vesey, or other journalists, Mitch Albom, all those people that's on the sports writers. They
All the
used
sports
to be the
reporters.
star. All the sports reporters used to be the star. They're not anymore. The Nick Wrights, the Stephen A. Smiths, all of those people are the stars. And even when you look at TV, you don't see them hiring a lot of journalists
Nope.
to fill those roles. You see more and more straight analysts. Like it, even the way some of these insiders we see, a lot of these insiders we see was working at an AOL, a startup, and AOL bought them, so they was on AOL Fan House and other stuff, or they was doing stuff on their draft boards, and they became popular in the sports blog era, and now they're the insiders. All of those dudes that had the pencils in their ears or in their pocket with press inside of the pocket, the suit coat and everything, and the beat writers, they're non-existent because that is non-existent. So what I saw there is the new age journalist who's trying to get back to the new age shit, which investigative journalism has been around since forever. Investigative journalism is in the Bible, basically, ladies and gentlemen. You got those people who are fighting against the analysts because they don't have a place no more. They're fighting against the new age hosts because they don't have a place no more. What you and Dante do, and I told you this, what you and Dante do are the new it's the new journalism. What I also love about working with y'all two is that y'all don't just do this, get on this camera and just talk and do this. You prepare. And that's also what's missing in what we see today. We see more people not planning and preparing than just going on TV and saying some shit. Or like I've always say, producers don't be producing. So to me, that's what I saw. This ain't about podcasting. This is about the journalists versus the analysts. And those people, the journalists, are getting phased out by the talking heads that's there because they're loud.
It's a good point,
and they
man.
Gotta make
good
a decision.
Point.
They got to make a decision. Do you want to be a hard-nosed journalist? Well, go take your ass to the Athletic. But over here, we loud and we just saying shit.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I just want to clarify once again, I think journalism is needed. I just think that,
very much so.
We step into the new era. In the words of Slim Charles, not in it right here. The thing about the old days, they the old days. That's the best thing. When Bodie kept talking about what they used to do when Avon and Stringer was on the block. Well, Marlowe's outside now. Okay. And Marlo has a podcast. And I'm with you, Bang. I was podcasting. I started podcasting in 2015. The only person I knew with a podcast at that time was Combat Jack and Joe Budden. Okay. So I didn't even know anybody. Like, I obviously I knew Bang in 2015, but I didn't even know Bang was podcasting. Like, that's how different the game is, man. So that's how I feel. But we're going to use these last 15 minutes of today's show. We've only got one more show throughout the rest of the year. Next week will be our last show of the year, for the holidays and things like that. We'll be back right before Wild Card Weekend. But I want to go around just quickly. We'll take 5 minutes on this. What is? Oh, did I miss something? Did I miss a joke?
I want to laugh.
No,
yeah,
I just got a text from Lurker, Jay Hood, who says, "Shit, I ain't either one."
Yeah, tell Hood, he's one of the people in the top rooms in Chicago sports media.
I try to tell him that. He don't understand that he's a suit like me.
Yeah, he's a suit too. Yeah, both of y'all suits.
Man, but I'm just trying to be Peggy the Cam Newton, fam. That's all I'm trying to be. I'm just trying to be a sidekick on the show, fam. That's it. That's all.
But we're gonna quickly go around. Just give one game that you are zoned in on this week. I'm gonna go first. I'm not gonna do I'll go to you next, Courtney. I'm not gonna do the typical game that has something to do with my Bears because I feel like that's typical. I'm gonna go with Bills Patriots in Foxborough. That was your game?
That's the one, baby.
That's what I'm looking at. First of all, Josh, now he's about failing up. He's having a terrible year, and he just got Haley Stanfield pregnant. So I think that he's winning. But it was like, you ever seen that video? It's not him. It was supposed to be me. But I think this is an important game because Patriots obviously beat the Bills early on in the season. The Patriots still in the battle to try to get one of those top seeds and get a first round bye. Drake May is firmly in the MVP race. But the Bills had a big win last week against Joe Burrow and them. Had a good big win. I think that's the best they've looked as a team front to back all season. Now, granted, Cincinnati shit. We all know this. But still, considering with Joe Burrow being back, I like the performance. I said on the weekend recap, this is Josh Allen's best chance. Yeah, I know that Dante and Courtney, y'all in the Josh Allen hater club. I would join y'all if he don't do it this year. There's no more excuses. There's a great chance Patrick Mahomes not going to be in the playoffs. There's a great chance Lamar Jackson's not going to be in the playoffs. Joe Burrow's not going to be in the playoffs. This is the clearest the road is going to get. And if you can't get it done, I don't want to hear it. And this is coming from one of his biggest fans. So I want to see that start this Sunday against a second-year quarterback. You going in his house, and you can keep the race open to win the division. So that's the game I'm looking forward to this week. Now, Courtney, I know you got the same game, but is there a different reason that you have it?
I mean, yeah, it's not really a different reason. It's the same set of beliefs that you have. The path will never be clearer for Josh Allen than it is right now. That being said, I don't think anybody really expected the Patriots to kind of put things together so fast. And I've seen the memes. It's like where people were like, oh, you know, a soul for a soul. You know, you sacrifice the Chiefs just to have the Patriots be, you know, back in a good place again. So, yeah, if you're the Bills, you have to win this game just to obviously keep yourself not only just, I mean, in a good position for playoff seeding, but to win the AFC East. But I'm not gonna hold you. Patriots are gonna win this game. Patriots.
I do feel. Wouldn't shock me if they won. By the way, if you want to see my full Week 15 predictions, videos in the description box right now. I recorded that yesterday. Click on that. Dante, I know you had feel like you had a comment to what we were saying in that pick your game.
But you know, I would say I actually don't hate Josh Allen. I think, you know, he is who he is. I think he's it's just like you said, at this point, we've seen him check every box except for winning the big one. So I mean, for me, the hate is gone. I've seen him do some great things. I just checked it up. He's on 22 touchdowns, 3,000 yards, completing 70% of his passes. So I mean, he's doing the damn thing. So I can't really say I dislike him. A few years ago, I had my reasons, but not so much no more. But my game this week is Colts Seahawks. Because if they put Phillip Rivers in that game, they're gonna hit that man like Dennis Quaid on any given Sunday. And split him in half. And I didn't even think about, because I was so, you know, obviously I made a comment about Colin Kaepernick, which, you know, we know that ship is sailed, but I didn't even think about Cam Newton. But when he said it on his show, he was like, the disrespect to call a grandfather before you call me. Like he's a literal grandfather. Like
he was literally hot about that.
Bro, no, Phillip Rivers' daughter is the same age as the backup. Ripken, they're the same age. So it's like, what are we doing, bro? And but yeah, I want to see that game. I do think it's a testament to the regard that they do hold older quarterbacks, and I will, you know, shoot some bill on this one with a Flacco, with a Phillip Rivers. You know, when you get a guy who comes in, especially if they run your system before,
white quarterbacks,
they know how to read a defense. They know what they're doing back there. So I think it's absurd at 44 to bring him back there. So this is the game I want to see, because if he pulls it off in these, 5 games, leads him to the playoffs. I mean, to give somebody comeback player of the year after 5 games is kind of crazy, but I think you kind of have to give it to him if he does pull that off. And for him to come and reset his Hall of Fame clock, because he was a semifinalist and now he has to go off the list. So it's interesting to me, but I think this could go really good, or this could also go really, really, really bad. And so I'm interested to see.
There's 2 things I took from the Phillip Rivers thing. One, somebody at the Hall of Fame was told him, like, yeah, dog, you ain't getting in on this first try. So he was like, all right, let me come in with a different class. And the other thought I had was, he must really hate being around his wife and kids if he's willing to get hit by men 25 years younger than him. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But Bang, what is your game that you're looking at this weekend?
Since Dante took mine, I'm gonna go with Denver Green Bay. Anytime we see teams in opposite conferences with a record like this, you say this could be a Super Bowl preview. And in this one, it's legitimate. Not the biggest Bo Nix fan in the world, but he's getting the job done. They have a decent run game, a solid offensive line. They're good in the skill positions, but their defense is immaculate. Their defense is one of the best in the NFL. Them and the Titans probably have the best defenses right now in the NFL. Patrick Surtain versus Jordan Love. I'm picking Patrick Surtain every time, right? Linebacker core, defensive line. We're going to see the Green Bay Packers go up against a top 5 defense. And for both of these teams, It's playoff implications because Denver is looking at New England. Green Bay is looking at the Rams and the Bears. So very interested in this game. Outside of that, yeah, I really want to see if Phillip Rivers can really do it. I don't think so. I think that man is gonna get hurt. They better not start him. They better hope that Riley Leonard don't get hurt. Because Kirk Cousins, if Phillip Rivers go out there, I understand him knowing the offense. I understand him as what's that Steichen, talk regularly and all of that stuff. But if that's his home, he should be ashamed of himself by saying,
Right.
"Hey, yo, hey
Yeah.
man, just come out here and play." No, your friend is a send off. If that's your friend, you don't need friends like Shane Steichen. He shouldn't have never told this 44-year-old homie, "Yo, slide on over here." Nope, I don't need no friend like that.
I agree 100%, man. Let's wrap this up. Final topic. We're going to pick who are going to be the 14 playoff teams. Since we got 4 games left, and we've
Woo!
only got one more show next week before we go on winter break. And we'll come back the week before, the week of wildcard weekend. We'll be back and we'll see who's right and who's wrong. We're gonna predict the 7 teams in the AFC, 7 teams in the NFC. This is how I got this going. All right, so we'll start with the AFC since I have that right in front of me. I think the New England Patriots are going to be the number 1 seed. I think New England Patriots are going to be the number 1 seed. If you look at their schedule compared to Denver, much lighter. The toughest game they got coming up is this Sunday against the Bills, but that is a home game. They play the Ravens next week on Sunday Night Football. They play the Jets on the road, and then they've got the Dolphins at home to close it. There's a good chance they're going 4-0 or 3-1 to close the season. So I'm going to have them going to number 1. I'm going to have the Denver Broncos dropping to number 2. Dante is washed. That pack hitting. We got 10 more minutes, brother. We almost home. We got you got using a muscle relaxer.
Yeah,
That's the watch I'm talking about. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm in
Oh,
pain.
you hurt. Oh, okay.
I saw that joint down there and I was like, "Oh, my
His
man
arm
hurt." My man hurt.
Well, we'll be done in just a minute, dog. I'm gonna go the Denver Broncos at number 2. They will win the AFC West. At number 3, Jacksonville. I believe in Jacksonville's offense more than I believe in the Texans' offense. But until the Jacksonville Jaguars actually do something without messing up, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Houston. And I think Houston will find a way to win majority of these next couple of games. And Houston will be the number 3 seed and win the 3rd seed as they win the AFC South. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to hold on and win the AFC North. Unfortunately, that bastard Aaron Rodgers is going to live to see another day in the playoffs. At 5, 6, and 7, my wild card seeds here. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to drop. They're not going to make it. When Daniel Jones got hurt, that pretty much wrapped it up for them. At 5, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to finish with a better record than the Chargers. So I'm going to put the Buffalo Bills at 5. I'm going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6, and I might have the Chargers dropping down to 7. That's how I got the actually no. Let me take that back. My bad. No. Let me take that back. I think that the Chargers. Here's my hot take here. The Chargers are gonna miss the playoffs. I think I just can't quit them. I'm sorry, I can't. I know I said they were done on Monday. I think the Chiefs find a way in. I don't know why. This has nothing to do with stats and everything. Where I just can't see Patrick Mahomes miss the playoffs. I know this is 100% 180 from what I said on Monday, but I think that the Chiefs will find a way to get that final playoff spot at 7. Now, the NFC, a little bit more trickier. I think the Rams will stay at the number 1 seed. Win the NFC West. I think the Green Bay Packers. No, I forget. I'm going to put my nuts on the table. The Chicago Bears are going to win the NFC North, and they're going to be the number 2 seed. The Chicago Bears are going to be the number 2 seed, win the NFC North. Number 3, Philadelphia. They're going to win the NFC East. Like, the Cowboys aren't dead, but I just don't see. There's so much stuff they have to do. They have to basically go undefeated, and the Eagles basically can't win another game for that to happen. I don't see that happening. I think the Eagles stay at 3. I want to believe in Carolina. I really, really want to believe in Carolina to hold on to this. They play Tampa Bay twice in the next 4 weeks or next 3 weeks. I think Tampa's still gonna find a way. I think they're playing like shit right now. Baker does not look healthy. But I still think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the NFC South, and the Panthers are going to be asked out. 5th seed, I think that you will see the Green Bay Packers will be at the 5th seed. 6th seed, I think you will have the Seattle Seahawks. No, 5th seed, I think you have the San Francisco 49ers. And I think the Seahawks are going to drop to the 7th and final seed. And I believe the Detroit Lions are going to miss the playoffs. So that is how I got the AFC and NFC rocking out. Bang, you want to go next, or
I think as we look at the playoffs, I think that like as they currently sit right now, I don't see no change, outside of just division winners. I think that the Broncos will position themselves and continue that they have positioned themselves to be the number 1 seed. I think they will stay there with the Patriots being number 2. I think the Texans will win that division. And I believe that the Steelers will win their divisions as well. Chargers, Bills, and Jaguars, I believe, are your wild card teams in the AFC. I think that injuries and slow starts will kill the Colts, the Ravens, and the Chiefs, and the Dolphins too, because they're there as well. In the NFC, I do believe that the Bears are going to be the number 1 seed. I am not saying this.
Okay.
I am not saying this to be a homer. I just feel like the Rams are going to lose a game or 2 down the stretch. I believe that the Packers are going to lose to the Broncos, and they're going to lose to the Bears coming up. The Eagles, we got the tiebreaker on. So I'm not saying this to be a homer. I think the Bears are going to go 3-1. I do believe that the Rams, because of a conference record, they will have the tiebreaker over the Rams. So that's going to be a tiebreaker situation. And they're going to beat Green Bay twice. So like I said, Green Bay is going to lose twice. So the Bears, because of situation, will be the number 1 seed. The Rams at the number 2 seed, because I do think they will control that division. The Eagles at the number 3 seed. I picked Tampa Bay to go to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, and it looked great until Baker got hurt.
At the beginning.
But I do believe that the Bucks will be the divisional champions in the NFC South. Outside of that, I do believe that the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Detroit Lions will
Green Bay
be
missing it?
the team. Yeah, I do believe.
Okay.
I do believe that Green Bay is going to falter.
Green Bay got a tough schedule. Yeah,
very tough schedule coming up. Like I said, I think that the Lions have the easier schedule that's coming up. I don't believe that you can discount the Baltimore Ravens as a spoiler. Like, if they're going to be a tough play as a spoiler, because they're going to be so pissed, and even though they got to go to Green Bay on the 27th, I think they could beat them. And I think that the Packers are going to have to hope that some teams lose when they play the Vikings at the end of the year in a game that they should not only win, they should blow them out. But I don't think it's going to be enough.
Courtney, what's your 2 conference playoffs?
I mean, I feel like Scott, you and I are pretty aligned in terms of the AFC. In the NFC, though, that's, gosh, I mean, the whole NFC as a whole is just like a clusterfuck. Pardon my language, but like it's just a cluster because, again, there are some challenging 4-game schedules that these teams are playing. That being said, I'm curious to see what this Panthers. I know no one cares about the NFC South. I don't even care about the NFC South. But I'm curious.
It slightly intrigues me, though. Not gonna lie.
I'm curious to see what the Saints Panthers game looks like on Sunday. And if the Saints actually try to win a football game, how that kind of impacts what's going on in that division. But that being said, I think the Rams are my 1 seed in the NFC. I know we talked about earlier with this Rams and the Lions game, but I just think that they're the most complete team in that division. And yeah, I do think the Bears win the NFC North, for the record. I will maintain that. Maybe it's because y'all are giving me just like a little bit too much hope. Y'all are giving me a little bit too much hope, but I do think the Bears win that division. I guess if I'm given a hot take from either of these, yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are. I think you're spooked, Scott. The Chiefs are not making the playoffs, which is
I'm not even spooked. I'm just giving them the champions benefit of the doubt. I honestly think they're gonna make it? No, but I'm giving them the champions benefit of the doubt. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I thought the Dodgers were toast for a minute too, and I gave them the champions benefit of the doubt, and that worked out for me. So that's what I'll say. Dante, bring us home. What's your 7 in the AFC? Your 7 in the NFC?
Not gonna lie to you, I don't have a fucking clue. I think it's gonna be chaos. I didn't even write nothing down. Like I saw it.
I like that answer. I like that answer.
No, I think it's gonna be very exciting and go down to the wire in a lot of cases. And even with the AFC, you see some of the records to 6-7, 7-6, and it's like, okay, you're gonna have a team. I didn't want to do it, but yeah,
6-7.
You're gonna have some teams out there that are like, but they're gonna be in the playoffs. So I think it's gonna be very interesting. It always is, and that is my food. But no, I'm really excited. My thing with the Bears is I'm teetering back and forth between a 1 seed and the last wild card spot. Because I mean, it could. It's just the way the ball bounces. It could go that way, but I think they're going to be prepared, and I think it's going to be a hell of a race. But I'm not going to lie, I don't have anybody locked in anywhere outside of, like I said, New England is doing their damn thing, and that's a team that, you know, surprisingly, year one of Mike Vrabel is looking very nice.
Bang, I just got a quick question for you. Since you said you do have the Bears number 1 seed, how far do they go if they get the next? Because if you're number 1 seed, you get a bye. Is there NFC Championship game here?
Yeah.
Or first home game get knocked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at, like, if the playoffs started now, right, and you just switch something, you just switch and move the Rams up, but switch everybody down. I do believe that the Bears could beat the Seahawks, because if they're the number 1 seed, they would have to go against the lower seed. I do believe that the Bears could beat the Seahawks in a second time around, because for some reason I think that Ben Johnson does a great job of game planning against teams that already beat him. Right? If he loses to the 49ers, as I predict, we'll play the 49ers in the playoffs because they would be a 5th or a 6th seed, and you're playing them in Chicago. I like those chances there if you're going against the lower seed. So with that being said, I do think that the Bears have potential to have not only 1 but 2 playoff games, because I do think they have the potential to go to the NFC Championship. I'm not saying that they will win it. I'm saying that they have potential, especially with not only the way they play, but where they play, but the way they play. Because you're going to need a run game in the postseason.
I will say every time the Bears play the Seahawks in the playoffs, they go to at least the NFC Championship game. 2010, 2006 Super Bowl, 2010 was the NFC Championship game. I'm going to close with this. When Dante's answer was great, because we are setting up for maybe the most chaotic final weekend in NFL history. Let me just read off some of these matchups. Lions at Bears. Cardinals at Rams. Even though Cardinals are out, that's a division game. Something stupid can happen. Chargers, Broncos. Chiefs at Raiders. Dolphins, Patriots, which probably not crazy. Commanders, Eagles, if Jaden plays, can get crazy. Ravens, Steelers. Seahawks, Niners. Colts, Texans. Giants, Cowboys. The Giants would love to ruin any chance the Cowboys might have. Browns, Bengals ain't going to mean nothing. Saints, Falcons ain't going to mean nothing. Bills, Jets. With the way the Bills been playing this year, Jets upsetting them or something they need, I can see. Panthers, Buccaneers, and then Jaguars playing the Titans again. it could be chaotic. So I just don't want the Bears to have any part in that chaoticness. I want to be having my feet kicked up, thinking about playoffs by that time. But knowing how the Bears season is going, I don't know if that's possible. So we will see how that goes, man. But anyway, that is all we got for y'all on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Of course, I'll be back Monday for the weekend recap. If you want to get the weekend recap, you got to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. The link is in the description box, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Subscribe to either the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier or the $10 Barbers Chair Access tier to get access to that. We'll be back next Friday for our final show of 2025. I cannot believe the year has ended this quickly. I feel like it was just New Year the other day. I feel like we were just talking about Ben Johnson being hired. It really feels like that. And now it's the end of the year. So Dante went to go get his food, so I'm pretty sure he's about to go eat and have a weed now. But
dang,
anything
it's crazy.
If you watch this show, you already know.
Damn, put my company man's business all out there like that is wild.
This is not a shock to the public. But anything y'all want to say before we wrap this up?
Roll Tide, baby.
You still standing with him. I respect it.
Central's down.
Somebody come coach Michigan, please.
I am available for the record. Okay. And I sleep up, never down.
She said that, not me. So that's all we got this week on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. You can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALLA-BRO. Follow Bang at JR Bang. Follow me at Barb Chair Scott. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. I will holler at y'all on Monday for the weekend recap. We about here.